And we are back after a relatively one-sided map between LG and the Kooky Koalas. The Kooky Koalas had their moments, unfortunately just didn't have enough of them. But coming up next is Bind. And now before we get there, I believe we have that replay package ready for you guys of how we got here. And it was, I mean, LG just control monsters on Bind.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, they were always denying map control to their opponents. They were the ones taking over hookah or taking over showers and just not really giving Koalas a lot of space to work with, particularly early in the half. Obviously, Koalas were able to break through and kind of get a little bit of a 4-round streak going there towards the middle of the half. But then, you know, LG decided to wake right back up and absolutely just dominated. We had a couple of bright moments, particularly this ace from Screwface that we're seeing now. It was certainly one of those rounds where it felt like maybe Koalas could actually fight back and still have a chance to secure the map. But LG didn't really allow that to, you know, harm their mentality too much. They were able to regroup pretty quickly. They had a couple of very convincing A takes. They were really coordinated on how they use their resources for the take and how they saved, you know, some stuff over to hold off the retake. And, you know, your boy Dre in particular really kind of popped off there towards the end with a proto to close out the match. So pretty convincing victory, I would say. Not complete domination. There were definitely some moments there from Koalas, but LG never really seemed out of control of the game. Like, they had such a big lead to kick things off. I think they were up 6-0 at one point, and just never really let Koalas, like, take the lead or tie the thing up.
And the biggest thing we like that replay that we saw from Screwface is kind of the individual heroics versus the team play that we saw from LG. Now, that map was the map pick of the Kooky Koalas, so it is unfortunate that they fall down early in that one. This next one, things are going to get a little bit chillier as we head over to Icebox. And again, like I said, for the Kooky Koalas, starting on defense, this being LG's map pick, they've got 2 games on it. One of them was a win, and it was a stomp. The other one was, I mean, it was neck and neck. It went to overtime against Beast Coast. So even though it's LG's map pick and LG do look really solid when it comes to control just in general, I don't want to count them out yet.
No, but I mean, the quality opposition that LG is playing on Icebox is obviously far superior. I mean, they're always playing top 10 teams in the region. Like, their last, 6 games on Icebox have been against top 10 teams in the region. They're 3-3 in their last 6. Their most recent games were wins over Immortals and 100 Thieves. Both games are very close, to be fair, including a game that went to double overtime against Immortals in the last Challengers event. So definitely a team that, you know, is well-versed on Icebox. They've actually been doing some really cool compositions on this map as well that I really wanted to point out. They actually have been putting Thief on the Jet on this map, which has been kind of interesting. They've also been, you know, letting Stellar play Sage again on this map is another one to point out. And they also had a Proto play Raze recently, which is kind of crazy because he's obviously always been kind of that hard Sentinel, particularly Cypher. I mean, the dude has played like 150 games of Cypher or something like that. Like, he's definitely a Cypher dude, but they've been having him play a little bit of Raze on this map. So that's been kind of interesting how they've been kind of coordinating their compositions and what agents they play coming into this. So I'm kind of curious, I guess is my point, what they do this time around with their agents select on Icebox.
And I think that's really cool, as this time we don't get to see the Proto Raze. Unfortunately, it is going to be Thief playing that one. But
we still get Stellar Sage at least. Can I still have that?
I mean,
give me something.
With this comp, yeah, I don't think, unless you
surely
need to run.
If they have your boy Dre on Omen, then surely they're putting Stellar on the Sage. That's my guess. Thief, though, is back on the Raze. This is one of the maps where a Proto will play Killjoy out. And yeah, okay. All right. So, you know, I was, you know, hoping for something, but we didn't get it. It's okay. I'll be okay.
You gotta, you got some of
I got the Stellar Sage at least.
Yeah. And so I think that's really cool that LG are willing to experiment with the Proto, because like you mentioned, he's one of the highest ACSs when it comes to the Sentinel player. So we know what he can do, right? With the Sheriff, with the rifle. I don't know if he's, you know, doing too much with the Operator these days, but so it's nice that they're kind of giving up on the reins a little bit and letting him frag out. Unfortunately, not here. Now, the inverse of what we saw is double duelists on the side of Kooky Koalas.
Sure.
And the one Sentinel that they have, it's only going to be the Sage. I didn't see the Killjoy. I didn't see the Cypher. So that kind of scares me when it comes to the information that those agents allow you.
Absolutely. I mean, they don't really have a whole lot of way to gain information at all other than the Boombot. So that is definitely... Oh, never mind. They have the Sova. Okay, never mind. So they do have the drone. They have the recon. So they do have that ability as well. So let's see how it plays out. LG will be starting on the attack this time. They're looking to I bet they're going for some pretty strong long B control. They're going to go ahead and get the dart out there on the dim sum. And drown out all the corners as well. So I know that up to yellow is clear.
This is, I mean, sure, you could be expecting him to rotate back, but again, it just seems so free here. You would imagine barrier orb in the hands. There it is, goes down for Stellar. Should be able to get the plant in these classics. Unfortunately, just not really too well adept when it comes to cutting down that barrier. Moose going to be watching that flank. Shouldn't find too much, as we just saw that Raze sneak away and head up underneath too. But it's a 5v5 retake. We're hearing the pistol round as a shock dart. Grabs a bit of damage. That smoke doing a pretty good job. Is going to give up the position of Thief, and Screwface able to find another, but they're traded right back at Stellar and Moose. And it's the util, but the diffuse Dim Sum just looking to stick it a barrier on his own. And the heroics coming out from the Koalas. They sneak away with the pistol.
It's actually funny that the wall was fantastic for LG to get the plant, but it became their worst enemy on the retake because they had a guy flanking through under tube that couldn't get a shot off on the diffuser because the wall was up. Unless that was Dim Sum's wall. I guess it could have been. Either way.
I think it was both of them split. He was, I think he was in a nice little pizza of stage barriers.
Something was there. And that obviously made, I'm sure, a proto shed a tear. Because he was definitely looking to try to be that flanking option through under tube to kind of blindside a diffuser, but didn't quite happen. So a scrappy round, no surprise, with two aggressive teams on the server, but Koalas did come out on top there. And now we're going to see LG looking to bring over some Sheriffs and try to work something out. Is honestly, man, the bulk of North American VALORANT Icebox is just a set piece simulator. Like, it's very much like 4 or 5 man hits onto a site. Maybe you got one guy watching the lurk or the flank. But it is very much about just kind of grouping up and trying to set piece of sight, and that's what LG are trying to do here with limited resources. And so far, even trade, but I imagine it's about to change, and indeed it does. In the blink of an eye, Ainge pops off a hat trick, and Anderson pitches in as well, and it's left Moose all very lonely. And not long for this world.
Yeah, very lonely at 4K and not long for this world. Now, you said, you know, they didn't have a whole lot going for them, but we've seen what LG can get done with what seems like absolutely nothing, right? It was Classics versus SMG. So I thought that with Screwface missing with the Bucky early in that round, that LG were going to have another one of those where we get taken down to very, very scary areas of the map.
Yeah. Now the full buy is here for LG. Bonus round for Koalas. So this will be a little bit more of a test for both these sides to see who is ready to go. But yeah, again, I expect a lot of set pieces like that from both these teams just based on their track records, just based on kind of the meta I've seen in North America for Icebox. I feel like the only teams that have really kind of gone a little bit of a different direction is, I feel like Gen G was showing us a lot of mid control and tube usage on their attacking side, so that was kind of different. And I know that T1 and TSM have even kind of experimented with trying to run some slower defaults on this map. So there's a little bit of variation, but it feels like the bulk of the time it really is more of these kind of like set executes. As we are going to see LG, though, take this round a little bit slower, trying to not only put some pressure on A side here, but they're also droning out and trying to get some long B control at the same time. So a little bit more default oriented on this round from LG.
And Stellar gave up his position. They're shooting at that boom bot, but not really telling as to what's going on, as you can see. And things are now being played on the opposite side of the map. A Proto still hanging out, though, because he does have his utility here. Doesn't want to get too far out of range. Looks like the alarm bot may have been called. I think both were actually called back. I thought the alarm bot might have been popped, but Screwface just barely sneaking past that one. This time not seeming to be so free, but it is going to be another wall. Unfortunately, it's not classics anymore for Koala, so that wall is just going to get mowed down nice and easy. Paranoia queued up, is going to be tossed down. It was a fake plan, and Anderson unfortunately running into another piece of that wall, but he does find Stellar holding that spike. It is going to be flat on the ground now, and it's a 2-for-1 across the board. Screwface opts into the Sheriff this round, and unfortunately not a great call, as he doesn't have the arsenal to trade for the fight. They're running out of time, but it doesn't matter. LG just mow them down here on their first rifle.
Yeah, but it got kind of close, if we're honest. That clock was coming down to the wire. It felt like if Koalas maybe backed off a bit, that they could have just won off the timer, or at least forced the plant out of LG and made it really tough for them. But LG were able to break through for a couple of kind of last-minute duels there at the end. Once it got towards the finish line, they were able to come out on top on all those fights. So they wound up taking their first round. They complete the victory against Koalas bonus, but now Screwface will have the operator, full rifles out for everyone else. So now we're on equal footing for the most part, though Thief is on the Bulldog. Moose looking to drone out Long B early. A spot Dim Sum.
Hunter Shiri too, not able to find anything, gonna split the uprights there at the end. And it was a Sheriff for Screwface who was able to afford the operator, but now on no armor, so it's glass cannon.
Right.
There were a couple of players who were light armor. So that Bulldog, it basically acts as a Phantom or a Vandal against one of those members. So,
and that 3-round burst at range is deadly, bro. It is definitely a very powerful weapon. Definitely, you don't really feel too hamstrung with it in comparison to a full-on rifle, as we are going to see LG looking to use that wall to try to do the under 2 cross, and they are able to do that, and they even get that pick on Dim Sum, who wasn't quite prepared for that. Proto also finding his man and trying to blast pack his way through the slow orb, but a Proto's like, hey there, buddy, how's it going? And they are just absolutely mopping the floor with Koalas, and that's another tough visual.
Yeah, that is very hard to stomach.
Koalas are so cute, man. Like, and for some reason, I keep having these dark thoughts about what happens to koalas when they're getting beaten. It's tough whenever you have like an animal mascot in that regard.
I think I think their mascot speaks for itself. They had some they threw some love on Twitter.
But why do they have like? Here's my other thing. If you're gonna be the koalas, I feel like you gotta own it. And this weird face doesn't really scream koalas to me.
I think it was because the face was their first identity that they just, that just felt like home. And they also assumed it as their identity on Twitter. Just
but could they at least
face.
take that face and then add like the little koala like cheek circles and like some ears, Just, I don't know.
I mean, hey, if they have a good run here in the VCT, I don't see why they wouldn't.
Just
somebody's
slop
gonna
on
be
some
out there.
additions. You don't have to completely rehaul it, but some little additions I think could be nice, as they just got a nasty pick with Screwface with the aggression with the daggers. Great way to kick off the round for the Koalas.
What does that mean? I feel like that doesn't necessarily speak a whole lot, because even when they do find the numbers advantage, again, the arsenal, it's not great for them. And if it's not Screwface, who is it? I feel like he was really the only member that stood out a whole lot in that last map.
At least on a consistent basis, yeah. I would say that's good. I feel like Anderson had his moments in the last game as well, but yeah, I feel like Screwface was like the consistent driving force of the team, as we are going to see LG laying claim to this A site here, making that slow press up with their entire line of attackers. Ainge does have the showstopper, so he could definitely be a wrinkle in this.
Knives again, though. Gonna find a kill, and Harmon able to find a headshot with the Marshall, so an easy kill to come on through. Now down to the last, it's Dim Sum. The Knives once more, but Screwface is gonna go wide on that. Has to reset in a Proto. Looking to frag out, and he does just that.
No way did he pull that off, Tanner. That is unbelievable. Everything seemed to be stacked against him, but a Proto showing you why he is one of the absolute best in the region. This is pure filth from a Proto.
Yeah, I mean, this is how the last round of the last map ended, and then he just does
Poor
it
Anderson.
again.
Poor guy. He didn't even have a chance. That is ludicrous what a Proto just did. That might be one of the players of the tournament right there.
And really kind of stepping on the throats. There's no way for Koalas to gain any momentum, because when it seems good, they do just that. Now Screwface still doing his darndest to be able to grab back the momentum, but the individual heroics, they might not prove to be enough. We're still early in this game, and he does still have an operator in his hand, so a whole lot could be going his way. But free tube control, Dim Sum.
That's not the best wall.
Up, but yeah, that is a rough one. He is able to find a kill on the other side of it. Back off and heal up. Lockdown available for a Proto. Don't think we'll see it here, as he does get tagged, and Screwface has the flank. The operator in hand once more. He just needs to find the angle. No, he's going to go wide. A Proto surely will go down here, right? No, Screwface misses another shot, and a Proto lives to fight another day.
That's
Who's
insane.
more clutch?
No way.
That is a name you need off the board.
Surely not. Surely LG don't win now. They've gotten a couple of kills, so they've got it back into a 3 versus 3. The Spike, though, is in kind of still an awkward position. He's going to have to get some assistance to feel comfortable to get out of this kitchen position. They're actually going to look to maybe even push together, but this is where Anderson might be able to slip in behind and be a real problem, Tanner.
Nope. He's not going to do that because
Okay,
of Proto. Nipped him out and took him down.
Is that Caster's curse or something? I feel bad.
Yeah, that was the most immediate caster curse. Now a good dart going to find 2. Spot some information as Paranoia goes out. Only going to get 1, but it's going to be just enough. The paint shells from Ainge. Able to take down your boy Dre and trade that kill out, but it's a 1v1 against the Proto. He does have the lockdown, as I stated before. Satchel charge, just to try and bait here, maybe thinking he's looking to make a quick play. And he's going to hear him push up. Who better? A Proto. That is actually insane.
Hey, Tanner.
Recalling my bot.
Yeah, Dust.
I have a question for you. How did LG win that round?
You know, you are the analyst.
Well, I thought maybe we'd, have a little trade. Just for that.
Okay. This is
What's your
this
best
is what
take?
I'll give you.
Okay, go on.
The best take?
Yep.
A Proto.
Okay, yep, that's a good take. Dude, how does he survive?
No clue.
You have Screwface, who, by the way, I don't want to harp on the guy because he's been an absolute monster to the bulk of this series, but just submits 2 sitters. A Proto's darted, stuck in a corner, and opts shooting through like a 6-foot wide tunnel, misses twice, and then he somehow comes out and wins another clutch. That's unbelievable. It's just, how do you factor for that? You can't account for things like that go against you, I feel like, if you're Koalas. That's just a tough pill to swallow. Hopefully they can keep their composure about them. That's my hope for them. And, well, this round's going off pretty nice.
Yeah, 5 HP on Anderson, but he's able to take down 2, so a favorable trade. Still alive, but a res quite possibly on the horizon. Who's going to spot the top of the Raze's head there as Ainge gets taken down. Now rotation might be in the books as both members from the Koalas have rotated over. And it's not really a 2v1. A nice thing, Anderson really taking a page out of the Proto book there, getting so much with so little. Unfortunately, Harmon gets spotted out. He's pinched and the spike's not even here. Man, this feels so oppressive. LG, it just feels like they can do whatever they want.
It feels like they can do no wrong, man. Even when they get stuck in a sticky situation where you feel like, all right, this is where they're about to get boxed in and done for. A Proto pops off a quad kill clutch. He just popped off a hat trick clutch the round after that. So back-to-back clutches for 7 of his frags, the 11 he has so far on the server. And I think oppressive was a great word that you just used, and it really does feel that way. It feels like just LG, all cylinders are firing. They're getting away with murder in some of these rounds, if we're honest. And yeah, they're just dominating now. And I just really hope Koalas can get that switch to flip. Just get that composure back, because I know that they have more in store for us. Like, this surely isn't it for them, I think. Especially with Screwface back on the operator. Did he get spotted? I don't think so.
Didn't. He's about to stare down the barrel of 2. The shot goes wide. Cloudburst to try and sneak away, but Stellar finds the kill. Ainge is there to back him up this time around, but only good for 1. And again, it's LG with full control. Thief gonna use the showstopper. Not gonna find too much, but buy so much space. And there's the rifle kill on the outside. The res came through, and it's just everything starting to come crumbling down on top of the Koalas, and they just cannot hold it up.
Another
Spike
bad
to be
visual.
planted. Anderson alive though, and he finds another. A Proto still on the board, so Harmon not necessarily in the best spot here, able to spot out his counterpart, but Moose will take him down, and LG full control, and they're not letting up.
Looks like the Koalas are starting to become an endangered species in the Challenger circuit, man. It's just looking so grim at this point. I mean, it's like Screwface is trying to go for a big play. He's gotten away with a lot of those, this have to be fair. Can't blame him for it. They're starting to kind of fall a bit behind. Economy's tight. You need to make a big play happen to avoid a situation like this where you're having to work with just upgraded pistols and such. And so he tries to go for a play. He just happens to miss. And then the bigger problem is not being able to get away. Ainge did get a trade back, but at that point, it was kind of like the floodgates had opened. LG were swarming. They were able to get the, showstopper out to get all that space on site. And just, get a pretty quick 4-on-2 post plant. I mean, it was kind of a blink of an eye after Screwface died and LG had a huge edge. And now they've won 6 in a row. There are a lot of ults in play for Koalas, but no real firepower around it. So again, Moose will use that drone to start clearing out a site. They will find that it's fairly empty. A lockdown gets put into play here to capture the site. But it's kind of a fake.
Yep, they're headed on over as not going to be sent right back from whence it came, from the shadows. They get spotted out and get a bit of information. Anderson, unfortunately, here with just a sheriff in hand.
You know it's a fake now,
paranoia just to buy a bit of time. And yeah, they do now have that information, but unfortunately, it's an open B site. It's another wall down. And in the midst of an eco round, there's not a whole lot that you can do to answer back for that barrier orb. And the knives, I mean, the heroics, but he just gets shot out of the air. Seems like they wanted to invest a lot here, and maybe it was just Screwface.
Oh my god.
As he pushes forward. No, Moose steals it away. It was the ace on the horizon.
I think that was designed. I think he was just to be a distraction to allow Moose to freely peek out kitchen. Either way, yeah, they're just having a good old time, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's a ye old time for LG. They're just moonwalking through this map. The fake got red, but just, yeah, they didn't have the firepower to really stop it. But now they have the operator back in Screwface's hands. He's had a couple of big opening picks throughout this game. They haven't really been able to build off of them very often, but let's see what he's got this time. What's he doing? Okay, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. No! Why? Why you gotta do him like that? He's got a family. He's got a family.
Well, and the problem with that play is...
You know it's coming when you see that wall.
Exactly. That's the first time they put the wall there, and...
You know it's for a reason.
You can sniff it out. Exactly, 100%. So that is...
Oh, they got him back.
Feels bad. They do get the res, and he will still have the operator in hand. Unfortunately, no kills to follow. We'll see how much they can invest here. Anderson to find another kill, and Anderson's been pretty hot in this game as one of the names to watch, but Moose going to extinguish that flame of the Omen. Stellar has no way in, no way out. Now the spike down on the ground, courtesy of Screwface and his operator, courtesy of Dim Sum with the resurrection.
Yeah, this is great. Now they have the 4-on-3. Time's running a little bit low. Oh, yeah, you're right, Thief. Oh, no.
One down.
Big kill. Gets it back to a 3-on-3. Now all of a sudden it seems like LG are pinching in here. Ange and Thief dueling showstoppers. Both find their man, but Moose finds one as well. And, bro, it's starting to feel like if a round victory was on the buy menu for Koalas, it would cost 10,001 credits.
Yeah.
And I don't even mean that in an insulting way by any means, but it just seems like they've had so many times now where they've had man advantage. They've had an opening pick. They've had a good read on how they should be rotating. Like they have all those steps kind of going their way, but when it comes down to like dotting those final I's and crossing those final T's, they just can't seem to get that final draft off to the publisher. It just something happens, it gets rejected, and that's why they've lost 8 rounds in a row.
And on defense, no less. Now, I will say they might have a better shot on the attacking side to be able to play aggressive and kind of do what they want. There's a couple of kills early in this. One going to be answered back, another to be answered back, and it just keeps happening. It's red all through the kill feed. Screwface with the Guardian. Off the grape of one, but it's just not enough. It's not enough.
LG read
here.
that. You could tell that Koalas were trying to do something different, try to get a little bit aggressive, you know, to try to get in their face, to try to change things up because where they have been playing hasn't been working out. I can't fault them for the adjustment. It's a nice idea. It's just LG were prepared for it, man. They are fragging so well. Again, a Proto had 7 kills in 2 different multi-kill clutch situations, but he's also got 14 in total, just being able to collect where he needs to. Moose and Thief are popping off. Thief has had a heck of a game creating openings and taking space away and just giving his team a foundation to work from. I mean, we've kind of harped on Koalas really struggling, but the flip side of that is LG are just playing that up-tempo Valorant, and they're doing it very effectively. They're very coordinated. Their spacing is good. Their timing is on point, and they're just trading out left, right, and center, and now they're starting to just waltz through sites and get opening picks.
And yeah, again, there's not really a whole lot answered. As
Oh, boy.
Just picks up 2 quick ones. B site now open. Armin is here to try and answer. The right click from the Bulldog, going to take a bite out of that raise. A Proto on the flank once more, able to find another kill and just continue to pad the stats. Now it's all up to Screwface. As the knives out, they go wide on all of those. The judge comes through, and a Proto, who better than to close out the half. 10-2 we go. It's looking daunting as we have to jump to a quick break. We'll see if that's enough for Koalas to make a comeback. It is going to take everything and the kitchen sink here for this attacking side for the Kooky Koalas. But hey, this is where legends are made, right? Right here, right now, quarterfinals. They still have some life should they go down here 0-2 against LG, but
I mean, you never know what happens when you corner a koala, Tanner. They're a very vicious animal.
True.
Maybe he's been starving. He wants that bamboo shoot. You've got it. Better watch out. Koala might come swinging.
Nice little start to get some damage, and I think, yeah, this is, I mean, really no holds barred. You throw caution to the wind here if you are this Koalas team, because you don't really have a whole lot to lose, and you still have that loser's bracket to try and make that run as well.
I feel like a koala can get pretty aggressive when he needs to. I don't know that for sure, but
He sleep like 20 hours a day or something.
that was like a sloth.
I'm pretty sure koalas, they also are slumbering a lot.
They do eat eucalyptus, I think, maybe. So yeah, that would put you out for sure.
This is slow. This is not what I was expecting. This is actually the opposite. I thought this attacking side would be Koalas looking to just burst onto a site, play aggressive, and win the duels. Not going to be the case, and your boy Dre might get a bit of no value at all, actually. Here's them crossing over, and we'll follow them up on the flank.
30 seconds
A
left.
seems to be the place to be. Low HP on Thief. I don't think it matters at this point. Recon Bolt gonna spot out 2 over towards the back. There's your boy Dre on the flank. Now they have to worry about what's behind instead of what's in front. No, they don't. Harmon is able to find that kill. They try and boost over the barrier. They do just that. They find a kill, but it's back and forth we go. Now Moose, the last alive, but not for long. The Koalas, they were sleeping at the beginning of the round. They woke up and they took the pistol.
Yeah, that was a nice one to kick off this half with. That was like kind of a must-win situation, if we're honest. If you lose pistol there, I mean, you're basically force buying the rest of the game with LG, very near series point. So, yeah, to win that, to kind of get that monkey off your back, so to speak, is definitely nice, but still a lot of work left to do.
Yeah.
There's still a huge checklist that you're going to have to mark through to get yourself back in the winning ways and actually challenge here for a true comeback. Had to be almost flawless to win in regulation, so we'll see, though. That's the first building block. We're going to see LG looking to get a little bit aggressive here with some Bucky's upgraded pistols, perhaps, but kind of forced back with the slow.
And all that, although the pistol bodes well, these were the only 2 rounds that the Koalas were able to pick up in the first half. So it's really going to be what comes down to the next. Is Thief able to find a kill to Anderson. Still to his fragging ways as they all start to get mowed down.
There we
Last
go.
alive, the man of the hour. It's Proto. I don't
Nice
think
one.
we can count this guy out.
Spike planted.
I mean, you're right, but I would think that with only a classic, that surely his days are numbered.
Oh, yeah. And he's got to start boogieing away from the recon dart. Unfortunately, not going to be the case. No clutch this time around. But here we go, Dust, right? This is where we get to see, and it's a bonus round, so it feels bad that you're stuck on Spectres for the most part. Typically, when you're in a bonus round, you're thinking, yeah, this
I would
is awesome.
upgrade as
but
much as possible if I could.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those situations where if you can, you probably try to shuffle over as much as you can.
100%. And it's Screwface with the judge, so I'm expecting some
I
heroics.
think he dropped a Phantom then to someone, because he definitely had one in his hands.
No, he just opted
Oh, maybe they
out
sold
of
back.
it.
Yeah, they sold
Yeah,
back.
because it was
Okay.
Bulldog, Spectres,
Fair
and a
enough.
judge. And unfortunately, no, okay, so they trade back quite a bit of damage there onto
look at
Moose, who was
this.
holding mid, and they've just got full control right up. Now the world is kind of their oyster, but unfortunately, there's a Vandal in the hands. The right-click spray down, good for 1. Anderson trades it back, and Anderson's just been so good here on Icebox.
This is a nice little change-up. Koalas just going with a really fast 3-man mid-attack. I think it kind of caught LG off guard a bit. I mean, Proto was in the right place to try to put a stop to the screen split. We just got overwhelmed by numbers, and so now Koalas had the 4-on-4 post plant. We're going to see LG trying to retake bulk of the forces, trying to come through the Raptors position.
Paranoia going to buy some space there. Moves through the smoke. That's unfortunate for Ainge, but that's A-okay. Koalas with a bit of control on the
Last
site.
player standing.
Doc Dart to try and clear things out from Harmon. Now he's the last one standing in a 1v4. I believe, yep, a barrier orb goes up, and that's going to be all she wrote here for this round.
That
First
wall
rifle.
is pretty rough.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the spike's planned for me, and now it's not. Now it's not. Artificial walls have been placed, and you're in a lot of trouble. So that's going to be LG with an 11th. And I mean, again, I like the craftiness of Koalas to kind of, you know, throw a little bit of a different strat than what we're used to seeing on Icebox. Just trying to go for that quick mid to screens push. You don't see that too often in North American Valorant, at least from the games I've watched on Icebox. So that was cool. It just, you know, had a little bit of struggle in the post play. They had a 4-on-4, like definitely had their chances, but LG just, like I said, able to use their utility appropriately to get some space on the rafters and kind of start closing it on site. And again, this is kind of a testament to LG that we've already praised quite a lot, which is their retakes are really well coordinated. Oh boy.
That is not how you want to start things. And Thief holding a close angle here. Might be able to find another.
No.
Is able to do just that. And it's looking like Map Point. He finds 3 here. Mowing him down, the spike on the ground. And Anderson completely corralled once more. It's a 4K for the Rays of LG in Map Point in flawless fashion.
I feel like Deef has robbed them of whatever confidence they have left, if you see what I did there.
Nice. Like it.
Yeah. Every now and then. Something blind squirrel finding, and I don't know. Yeah, there are a lot of squirrels on this map. Don't think they're blind though, but they're more they're inanimate objects though, right? They're like stuff they're not real squirrels, you know. But who are we to say what's real or what's not? This might all not be real. Think of that. Could be a simulation.
Could be a simulation. We might find ourselves there, or maybe one day that question gets answered.
And this simulation, Koalas are struggling. We know that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And the biggest question is B the place to go? They're creeping up on it and a couple of early kills. Now, hey, backs against the wall again, the Koalas.
Okay.
Looking to scratch their way out. I'm not too sure.
They do have balls.
Koalas.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm not too sure how they fight, but they're doing pretty darn well here. And another B take. They're going to take that from the shadows right back, and that was good for a kill, but Screwface aggressive with the judge, able to find himself an upgrade, has the knives available, and Hunter Fury on top of it all. So a couple of Hunter Fury. One probably to delay the plant, one to maybe stop the defuse. Is a Proto.
That's so unlucky.
Yeah.
That alarm bot was like maybe a couple of units off of detecting that guy in that corner, and he actually would have been able to maybe swing on it, but didn't happen. So now they will just back off. Claws will take the round. They will go up to 5, but I mean, the alts that LG have rolling over into the next round, plus they still have economy, it ain't gonna get easy for Koalas.
Anderson didn't see him.
I think he just didn't want anything to do with it. He just wanted to get out of there, make sure they keep all their weapons going over. Moose is playing with fire.
I mean, Moose has got money, so there's really no reason. He's got 4,800 credits.
Yeah, he might as well farm up.
Yeah, this was I thought he would just go for it. He was clutch on bind for a few rounds. I think he was 11-0 at one point, or 11-1. So I had to see him not go for it here. But when you are LG,
spam that wall. Oh, please. I don't even know if that's spammable or not, but that'd be pretty cool if it was. And he just gut checks him in the head. Be nuts. I feel like they can only handle so much punishment, though. You gotta let him have a little bit of something, you know?
Because it's still not great. With Screwface going down, I think he actually just bought a judge, so he might feel comfortable doing that again. It actually looks like a Bucky. Yeah, it's slowly getting worse and worse in terms of economy for this
Look at all these alts, though, bro. I mean, Koalas does have a res, and they have their own Hunter's Fury to take some space with or use for a post plant, so it's not like they're completely out of it. And yeah, Screwface is going to have the daggers as well to go along with the Bucky, so definitely going to give him some options to be effective at, you know, long and close range. So they still have something going for him here, but definitely a little bit of a step behind. As Moose wastes no time popping his ult to try to get some early tags and information. Doesn't really get much value out of it, though, I will say. Both teams still sitting on a res. There's a showstopper available for LG as well.
Ooh, and Thief compromises position there, but is going to use that showstopper, the knives to sit him down. Screwface with a huge kill there.
Big.
But the Koalas not out of the jungle just yet. We've got 4 more to worry about.
I think they want to be in the jungle, though, right?
I don't know. I don't know the.
I see what you're trying to do there, but
yeah,
I think that the jungles are their friend.
I'm trying a little too hard.
Koalas together strong.
Memes.
Yeah, that's fine. you got to get them in while you can, because their tournament life is looking a little bit short unless they can fight back here, which, you know, they're starting to put some pieces together. They're going for a 5-man gather here on an A site. There's a lot of utility, though, that could give them some problems.
Dart out, Paranoia through as well. Nano Swarms get so much onto Screwface, and it's the turret to finish him off. Of Proto, what can't he do here? He finds another kill. He's going to be traded back almost immediately, but in the 3v3, Koalas, make it a 3v4. Resurrection going to be used. And this is kind of a last-ditch effort. If there's ever time to use everything you've got, it's right now. As Moose backs away, Stellar going to heal him up. Now look for another angle. Imsum going to get spotted out playing up top in Nest, and a Resurrection to come through. So now numbers advantage completely in favor of LG. There's the lockdown that just spoke about. Anderson looking for a couple of kills. It's all up to Ainge, who just has nowhere to go. The defuse is coming on down. He's able to find a couple of kills. He's got the showstopper. The shot goes through, and he goes clutch. He's able to hang on for a moment longer.
Oh, what a play. I thought when they got the res on a Proto and put the lockdown that was going to be all she wrote, but Ainge getting a couple of big kills, knowing that he had to just keep pressing forward, that he could not afford to bail out and wait out the lockdown, just keeps on trudging through the trenches, finds the frags he needs. Great showstopper trade on a Proto, and what a hero he was that round to keep Koalas still alive. And I mean, they're on life support, though, if we're honest. Yeah. I mean, it's not good. But, hey, that's a big-time play from Ainge, showing you some of that individual talent. Again, he was one of the guys that was quite a high-fragging duelist for Rise over, you know, earlier this year into late last year. So definitely a guy to keep an eye on, and definitely a big-time play there.
A big-time play. And bought a lot of the ultimates away, or took a lot of the ultimates away from LG. So now it's just from the shadows that they have to worry about. Obviously, their rifles have been pretty darn good, so you still have to keep that in mind. The Proto just gonna dodge out on the swarm grenades, trying to take down the wall here as they look to spray through. Your boy Dre gonna jump right into the mix and find a 3K, and they're just starting to fall. That is going to be it, as LG will find the defuse. 13-6 on Icebox is all we get as they move forward from the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I mean, there's just not a whole lot to recap, unfortunately, from that one. It really was just LG absolutely dominating on the server, on Icebox. They just did not let up after they lost Pistol and the follow round. Once they got their economy in order, they just went on an absolute run in that first half, winning the half 10-2, 10 unanswered rounds. Just plowing Koalas. And then in the second half, there wasn't really a whole lot stopping them. I mean, there was a couple of moments. Ainge obviously had that really big 4K clutch round that we saw there towards the end, but outside of that, it was pretty much all Luminosity all day. A Proto had back-to-back clutch rounds kind of in the first half, which kind of kickstarted things for them, and then they just never really slowed down. Just, again, LG showing you why they're one of the best teams in the region. They have been one of those teams, like kind of alongside XSET, that have been on the come up, you know, kind of charging into top 5 ranking position, or certainly close to it at least. And yeah, they've been, you know, placing really well lately, and they're just continuing on that momentum with your boy Dre and Moose on board. So yeah, not surprised to see this result, to be honest with you, but you know, at the same time, at least we saw Koalas have a couple of their players pop off at least a few rounds here and there. They still have a chance in the lower bracket to fight it out and see if they still can't, you know, hang around and try to make a push for Masters. But LG kind of one of the favorites to do it, you know, taking care of business in this first match.
And I think, I believe we were talking about it before or during halftime break or before this game started, but I mean, this is not that it really gets any easier, but LG is probably the #1 favorite here in this bracket. Obviously, I know that TSM, I know Gen G, 100 Thieves, I know all those guys are in it, but they're making changes and they're not looking to be in full form, whereas Luminosity look to be skyrocketing in an upward trajectory. So for this to be the Kuki Koalas first game, that is, you know, that's difficult. I think they may have a better chance, obviously, in that lower bracket as we take a look. You already see TSM up 1 game against Gen G. That is a rematch, and Gen G was the team that sent TSM packing back in Challengers 2, and they didn't make it to the close for that one. So I'm sure TSM fans are happy to see that they are a game up, and I believe they're playing Ascent for their second map. I'm not too sure how that one's looking. But for LG, they move forward. They're going to be hanging out for a little bit. The Koalas, they have to take a little bit of a break. They're going to move down to that lower bracket and await one of these losers to find them down there in the lower round. But they will play at the end of the day again. So we'll see how that team, I guess, ends up throughout the day, right? I think the losers bracket doesn't really get easier, but playing LG is tough. And I guess a question on that to kind of wrap up that you already noted there's not a whole lot to say, but for the Kooky Koalas, how much do you think it would help to maybe, again, play that single duelist and have yourself a Cypher, to have yourself a Killjoy? It felt like not having that and only having that Sage Wall in one spot on the map, obviously, Luminosity was able to do whatever they want.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to know whether it was the composition or if it was just the individual form thing, or whether they just whether it was a mental composure thing. Like maybe they just kind of started to crack mentally. Like it's really hard for us because we don't know what's going on, you know, in their practice or in their communications. And so a lot of it is just speculatory, which can sometimes get us in trouble as commentators. But we try our best. And yeah, I don't know if it would have made a difference or not, to be honest with you. I mean, this team hasn't been together that long. Some of these players have played together in the past on previous teams, but it's still, you know, a relatively new unit. It's a big step up level of competition for them as far as who they're playing against on an in-and-out basis now. And yeah, when you're in that spot, that means you're going to have to kind of test the waters. You're going to get knocked a few times along the way. And this happens to kind of be one of those hits, and how they respond to it's entirely up to them and their preparation and, you know, their mentality going forward.
Yeah, and hey, the only unsigned team to make it this far into a close qualifier this year, I mean, it speaks well for that team, and they still have some life going forward. Now, speaking of units, I think I know a company that might have a couple of units for you guys to purchase, guys, and that's going to be one of our partners here in HyperX, helping us power the VCT and NSG. Guys, Legendary Comfort goes wireless with the HyperX Cloud 2 wireless, built to be an ultra affordable or ultra comfortable gaming headset. Affordable too, with amazing sound. And it's no wonder, guys, that it's become the preferred gaming headsets for millions of gamers like yourself, like myself. Obviously, you see the swag that we've got up around. And I mean, there are microphones on microphones on microphones, but how many of those give you that extra edge in that RGB dust? There's not a whole lot of them.
A lot of RGBs. You gotta love the RGBs. I actually use a HyperX mouse pad and have for a very long time, one of the Fury pads. So definitely, they make a wide array of really good products, and I'm a user of some of those products. So good to have them on board. Nice to see people stepping up and supporting the scene. Big shout out to you.
I agree. I busted out the Quadcast there and actually had it on my desk, and I used it as a microphone for my son because he can't get close enough to this one to talk into it because he's only 4. So, I mean, use is all around for that one. Now, guys, as much as we love HyperX, as much as we love that matchup that we just saw, we do have to jump away for a second. The action will continue. We have a couple more matchups tonight. But as I said, everybody needs to take a breather. When we come back, guys, we've got T1 taking on FaZe just on the horizon. You don't want to miss it.
Contrast stitching, curves that'll hug your body, adjustable arms, custom embroidery, memory foam pillows, changeable color inserts, lay flat recline, removable logos, soft durable material. Yeah. You like what you see, baby? Zip chair.
I feel like I need to defend my scene's honor here, because this is just turning into a bit of a dog battle.
Like in groups always look.
I'm
said,
cutting
they
you
always
off
look
here. I'm
lackluster.
cutting you off. Cutting you off. He said G2's winning it. He said G2's winning it.
We need to wait till the next EU tournament, which could be in about 10 years now.
Take it with like a grain of salt.
No,
But
that's
that
no
being
fun.
said,
Take it super literally.
Spike defused.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.